Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. We have been learning Kanda Chapu Thalam. You have seen sequences 1, 2, 3, and in the last episode we saw Dheem Tha Dhimi Dhinaka. As two parts, 4A and 4B. Dheem Kitta Takadeen, Dheem Tam Kitta, Dheem Kitta Takadeen. All those we saw, how we adapted from Adi Thalam to Rupakam to 10-beat cycle of Kanda Chapu. Hope you are now clear how to adapt those sequences. Hope you have all practiced putting the structure, Thala structure, and now we are getting the grip of Kanda Chapu Thalam. Out of all the 4 Thalas, the 2 Thalas are little different from the structure, which is Misra Chapu Thalam and Kanda Chapu Thalam, because they are 3.5 beats and 2.5 beats. Whenever it's little odd, we have to practice carefully, ensure that we get it right. So we're going to see the next 2 sequences in this class, which are pretty much straightforward. Takadhimi Takajunu and Tangut Tadin. That sequence. I'm going to use the Adi Thalam as the base, and I'm going to convert that into Kanda Chapu Thalam. So before I begin the class, I will start with the Tirukkural and I will proceed my class. Ozhukkam Udaimai Kudimai, Ilukkam Idinda Pirappai Vidum. What is the meaning of it? Ozhukkam Udayavaraga Irupade Uyarnda Kudipirappin Tanmayagum. Ozhukkam Thavarudal Idinda Kudipirappin Tanmayagivum. What does it say? A person is determined how he is born from birth. It shows he is from a royal family. How they categorize as a royal family is because the way they have been brought up. It's the upbringing that matters, the environment that matters for good behavior. So what Thiruvallur says is compares whoever is highly disciplined, he can be deemed or he can be compared to a person who was born or accepted as a high society. If he deviates from this discipline, good manners, he will be categorized into the society which cannot be accepted by anybody. So I think that is a fairly good comparison. With this good thought, we will get into today's class. All we need to understand is we have to ensure that we have discipline in all aspects of life. We have to learn from this. That's the reason why it's value-based education. As part of my academy, I have chosen Tirukkural and Thiruvallur's works, especially because he handles all aspects of 360 degrees of a personality. So when you look at the class, you also have to look at the Tirukkural and the model behind it, so that you also learn those aspects and be a good human being in the society, acceptable by everybody. Having said that, let me start the class. The conversion of Takadimi Takajunu is again straightforward. I'm going to go a little fast here. Both the sequences I'm going to only change till the adaptation, and I will demonstrate the play. Takadimi Takajunu, Takadimi Takajunu, Takadimi Takajunu. That is an 8-beat cycle. We just have to increase one more phrase, Takadimi Takajunu, to add 8 plus 2, which is 10. 10-beat cycle. As usual, I'm going to show you in a granular form, which is Kanda Chapu Thalam, Kanda Chapu Eka Thalam. Takadimi Takajunu, Takadimi Takajunu, Takadimi Takajunu, Takadimi Takajunu, Takadimi Takajunu, taka dimmi taka jun taka dimmi taka jun taka dimmi taka jun gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga taka dimmi taka jun taka dim gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga taka dimmi taka jun taka dim gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga dari gedadaga dang gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga dari gedadaga dang gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga dari gedadaga dang. Like that you can play. The reduction part I did as a 5-5 reduction, or it can be done as a 4-6 reduction also. The 4-6 reduction also is acceptable. Taka dimmi taka junnu gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga, which is 4 beats. Taka dimmi taka junnu taka dimmi taka jun gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga, which is 6 beats. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 is divisible by 5, so you can adapt this as well. So there are 2 methods you can play. There are n number of methods you can play. That's different. But the vanilla you need to learn. Taka dimmi, taka junnu, taka dimmi, gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga. That is 5 beats reduction, or alternatively you can do 4 and a 6. I will choose a 4 and a 6 pattern here, and I'll play this in Kanda Chapu Thalam. That's how you have to play. I'm going to also demonstrate you how to tell in Kanda Chapu Thalam. That's the key. So here the lessons are very easy. Now you have to demonstrate yourself explicit in Kanda Chapu Thalam. That's the key that you should do. That's the homework for you. Taka dimmi taka junnu, taka dimmi taka junnu, taka dimmi taka jun, taka dimmi taka junnu, gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga taka dimmi taka jun, taka dimmi taka jun, taka dimmi taka jun, taka dimmi taka junnu, gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga taka dimmi taka jun, gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga taka dimmi taka jun, taka dimmi taka jun, taka dimmi taka jun, taka dimmi taka junnu, gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga taka dimmi taka jun, taka dimmi taka junnu, gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga dari gedadaga dang gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga dari gedadaga dang gedadaga dang gedadaga dari gedadaga dari gedadaga dang. So this is how you have to play. When you reduce, it's a 4 and a 6, and assuming that if you are slipping in a thalam, you should not make it obvious that you have slipped. You have to ensure that you have to cover it up with the phrase so that people, others, audience may not notice it. You should not, in between, you break when you're making it. Even big vidwans, when they're playing in concerts, when they have understood that they're going to slip, but they will try to make it up without exposing that they have made the slip. And that's one of the things which you have to learn on your own, because that's how it is. Because once when you understand the structure, you will learn how to go about it. Again, the homework for you in Kanda Chapu Thalam. Dhimkita geta dhimitaka tari geta taka dhimikita geta dhimitaka tari geta taka takkita geta dhimitaka tari geta taka tarikita geta dhimitaka tari geta taka talam na geta dhimitaka tari geta taka taka talam da dhimitaka tari geta taka dhudana geta dhimitaka tari geta taka taka dim da dhimitaka tari geta taka. Use any of these phrases, 8 phrases, fit it into the Kanda Chapu Thalam. Also, you can do one more homework. I have taught you a bigger phrase. Dhimkita geta dhimkita geta 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 dhimkita geta dhimitaka tari geta taka. That is a 4-beat phrase. So when you want to play in Kanda Chapu Thalam, the same takadimidagujunu, you can make it as a combination of a 6 and a 4. Taka dimmi taka junnu, taka dimmi taka junnu, taka dimmi taka jun. Dimkita geta dimkita geta 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 dimkita geta dhimitaka tari geta taka dimmi taka jun, taka dimmi taka junnu, taka dimmi taka jun. Takita geta takita geta 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 takita geta dhimitaka tari geta taka dimmi. You can do like that. So there are 6 plus 6, 16 phrases, one with the 2-beat phrase, 8 and a 2 combination, which is 10. The second is 6 and a 4 combination, again 8 different phrases you can practice. These are all is your homework. So you might have learned a very small lesson in this class by adapting or elongating this Adi Thalam to a 10 beat cycle, but eventually you are learning many phrases which has to be played. So that's Takadimi Takajunu in Kanda Chapu Thalam in a vanilla form. I've given you homework. I wanted you to do all this homework, and I'll have an independent review with all of you. The next sequence is again very simple. Tangut taddin 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 tangut taddin. This is what we played in Adi Thalam. Increase it 2 and play the sequence. Dim tangut 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 tangut dim 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 tangut tangut dim tangut dim tangut dim tangut dim tangut dim tadim tangut tadim tangut tadim nangeta tagadena tangeta tagadim nangeta tagadena tangeta tagadim nangeta tagadim nangeta tagadena tangeta tagadim tagadena tangeta tagadim nangeta tagadim tangeta tagadena tangeta tagadena tangeta tagadena tangeta tagadena tangeta tagadena tangeta tagadena kita tagadena tangeta tagadena tangeta tagadena tagadena tam. This is the vanilla form of Kanda Chapu Thalam Tangutadin series you have to represent. If you want to represent in Kanda Chapu Thalam, tangut tadim 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 tangut tadim. So 5 times you are repeating. That's a trickier play, trickier aspect. It's sarvalagu, you are playing in 2.5 beats. You have to be very clear when you are telling this. Then is tankita tagadim. That paragraph we will tell. Tankita tagadim tangut tadim tangut tadim tangut tadim tangut tadim tankita tagadim tangut tadim tangut tadim tangut tadim tangut tadim. That is the second paragraph. It seems easier to play, but difficult to tell when you are learning it. It's not difficult when you have learnt it. It's difficult to say when you are learning it. So next is tankita tagadina. The first and last line change. Tankita tagadin tangut tadim tangut tadim tangut tadim tankita tagadina tankita tagadim tangut tadim tangut tadim tadim tankita tagadina. That's the paragraph. The next is the reduction. The reduction, how you can do? It's a combination of 2 and 3. Tankita tagadin tankita tagadina tankita tagadin namkita tagadin tankita tagadina. So first time tankita tagadin is 1 time, tankita tagadina is 1 time. When the second time, since it's 3, you are repeating tankita tagadin twice. Tankita tagadin tankita tagadina tankita tagadin nankita tagadin tankita tagadina tankita tagadin tankita tagadina tankita tagadin nankita tagadin tankita tagadina. Then tankita tagadina 5 times. Tankita tagadina tankita tagadina tankita tagadina tankita tagadina tankita tagadina. That is 5 times. Then you are finishing with a mora. Mora is a 4-beat mora. So you are adding, since it's a structure of 5 beats, you are adding tankita tagadina, which is 1 beat plus 4 beats the mora, which fills the gap. Tankita tagadina, tankita tagadina dam, tankita tagadina dam, tankita tagadina dam. So when you play together, that's what I did. Initially, this lesson is an adaptation of Adi Thalam, increasing 2 beats to 5 beat cycle and play the same way, but the most important thing is you have to tell it in hand in Kanda Chapu Thalam. That's the key. Okay, with this, I will see you in the next class because there's a lot of homework for you to do. In Takadimi Takajuno, I told you the 8 phrases of 2 beat, 4 beat phrases also you can try to fit into the Kanda Chapu Thalam. All these you have to do in the lesson. I want you to do a 4-beat phrase in the Kanda Chapu Thalam and come out with the reduction and how you can play the reduction. That's the homework. I will explain you next class how this has to be done when you're applying a 4-beat phrase. I'll give you the example also. Taka dimmi taka junnu taka dimmi taka junnu taka dimmi taka junnu dim kita kita dim kita 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 dim kita kita dim kita dari kita taka dimmi tak taka dimmi taka junnu taka dimmi taka junnu taka kita taka kita 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 taka kita dim kita dari kita taka dimmi. This is the pattern you have to follow. You should show me how you can reduce this and how you can finish with a mora with your own ideas. I will explain you next class how it has to be done, and if you have already learned it right, and I will review it in next class. So let me complete this class with the Thirukural. Marapidum ottukkolalagum parpan pirappu ozhukkam kundra kedum. It talks about the Brahmin now. கற்ற வேதத்தை மறந்தால் மீண்டும் அதை ஓதி கற்றுக்கொள்ளலாம், ஆனால் வேதம் ஓதுவானுடைய குடிப்பிறப்பு ஒழுக்கம் குன்றினால் கெடும். What does it say? A Brahmin, a Vedic Brahmin, even if he has not practicing his Vedic dharma day to day, he can learn in future dates. But if a Brahmin violates from the code of discipline, violates from the code of good conduct, he will go to a different, he will go downtrodden. That's what Thiruvalur compares, which is very true. Whomsoever it may be, whatever caste it may be, the bottom line, one has to be disciplined, and that is the very highest quality Thiruvalur compares. So with this good thought, let's also try to be more disciplined in future and be a good person in society. Vishwanathan Puvanur RVA signing off this class. I'll see you in the next class with more sequences.
Mm-hmm.